Coming up tonight on YCN News, Dartmouth College will ban hard liquor on campus. And Wilmette, New Hampshire is preparing for an anticipated town meeting on Monday. For more news, weather, and sports, it's time for YCN, your local view.
Now, your daily digest of the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region, southern Vermont, and Windsor County. News, sports, weather, and all that is happening in our area. The news on YCN, your local view.
Good evening. It is Friday, January 30th. I'm Laura James. Welcome to YCN News. Dartmouth College continues to come under the media spotlight now that it's banning hard liquor on campus in an effort to curb binge drinking. College President Philip Hanlon, who graduated from Dartmouth in 1977, spoke to about 800 students yesterday in a meeting aimed at improving the Ivy League college's image on and off campus. An initiative known as Moving Dartmouth Forward forms the basis of what Hanlon told all those at yesterday's meeting. New Hampshire Public Radio reports alcohol-fueled sexual assaults can rise from overuse of alcohol, as has been reported in the past by college students. Looking at how the fraternity system works or does not work to a student's positive personal and academic development is another issue under study. A Monday night hearing in Wilmette could draw a large crowd as residents unhappy with a proposal to set up a fuel oil and propane storage and distribution facility on Route 11 make their concerns known. Several residents already have, including David Placey and Daniel Trimbeth, who asked for the letter against the project to be read into the minutes of the Planning Board's meeting earlier this month. The proposal by Huckleberry Propane and Oil also calls for a truck garage and storage site on the Route 11 property. Opponents fear that applicant Russell Jewell's business plan for Huckleberry Propane could harm the environment, their physical health, and real estate values, especially along Deerwood Drive in Wilmette. Monday night's meeting begins at 6:30 p.m. at the town office. That's at 9 Kearsarge Valley Road. Well, here's one person we won't see running for president in 2016. Mitt Romney decided today that for him, the third time would not be a charm. Instead, national news outlets report he will give other leaders in the Republican Party the opportunity to become the next GOP nominee. Meanwhile, Republican Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina announced yesterday he is setting up an exploratory campaign to help test the presidential waters before plunging into the race. The watch for the presidential hopefuls of all political stripes continues, with the date of New Hampshire's first in the nation primary currently unknown per the Elections Division of the Secretary of State's office. Continuing with political news locally, New Hampshire and Vermont, lawmakers continue to shape gun laws in their respective states. Yesterday in Concord, New Hampshire, Republican Majority Leader and State Senator Jeb Bradley of Wolfboro spoke in favor of a bill to allow people legally licensed to carry a gun to also be able to carry that gun out of clear view from other people. The bill would mean legal and licensed gun holders would not have to get an additional license to carry a concealed weapon. The Associated Press reports several New Hampshire police chiefs spoke against the bill, also referred to as a constitutional carry proposal. New Hampshire's neighbor to the west, Vermont, already allows for licensed gun holders to conceal their weapons without having to obtain a separate license. A Republican state senator from Ware introduced a business proposal recently that is meeting with Democratic Governor Maggie Hassan's approval. Jerry Little of Ware is the sponsor of a bill designed to modernize New Hampshire's Securities Regulation Act. Little represents District 8. Hassan, in a statement, says updating and modernizing this regulation would make it easier for businesses to prosper. It will be easier for companies to raise the capital they need to invest and grow. A plan called the Live Free and Start initiative aims to encourage business leaders and entrepreneurs to set up shop in New Hampshire. Hassan says she looks forward to working with Republican and Democratic lawmakers to pass this legislation. In other news from Concord, the state's insurance commissioner will play a leading role in setting health insurance policy at the national level. Commissioner Roger Savini will be the chairman of the Health Insurance and Managed Care Committee, a panel under the umbrella of the National Association of Insurance Commissioners. This committee reviews proposed federal legislation and its effect on states regarding health insurance policies and practices. In a letter recognizing Savini's work, Governor Maggie Hassan says Savini will be at the forefront of developing best insurance practices, a role that will showcase New Hampshire's work to other states. For more information on the state's insurance department, you can go online to visit newhampshire.gov/insurance. After the break, more news and stories from our region.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Laura James. It was an off-schedule meeting Thursday night, and at its end, the Brattleboro Vermont Select Board decided to ask town meeting representatives to again consider approving a 1% local option tax. Now, a local option tax is levied at the local level, hence its name, and is geared to raise revenue for the city or town that approves it. In the upcoming Brattleboro election season, the board set March 3rd as the day registered voters will mark ballots for elected town offices, and set March 21st as the representative town meeting day. Turning to police news now, a Newbury, New Hampshire man is under arrest, charged by local police with a felony count of reckless conduct with a deadly weapon, after firing several rounds into a Sunapee home where people were inside last fall. 28-year-old Nicholas Fuchs of 193 Route 103 in Newbury was taken into custody by Sunapee police today. Newport police assisted in Fuchs' apprehension at 32 Central Street in Newport, a police statement notes. Fuchs' arrest follows an earlier shooting at 17 Bradford Road in Sunapee. Police determined by investigation that Fuchs allegedly fired rounds from a 9mm weapon at the home as an act of retaliation. The alleged shooting incident dates to a late night when at 11:50 p.m. Sunday, September 28th, Sunapee police responded to a report of shots being fired at the Bradford Road home. Police say 2 residents were home at the time of the shooting but were not injured. During the investigation by both police departments, a search warrant was obtained for a residence in Newport, which led to the recovery of further evidence of the shooting in Sunapee on that fall night. Sunapee police recovered a handgun in a small pond in Newbury. Police say the shooting was not a random act. Fuchs is now being held at the Sullivan County House of Correction in Unity on $50,000 cash bail. The Roman Catholic Diocese of Burlington, Vermont has a new spiritual leader. Christopher Coyne is now the diocese's 10th bishop, reports Vermont Public Radio. In his new role, Coyne, known for his computer skills, namely his regular blog posts, aims to encourage more people to attend weekly church services. About 120,000 people in Vermont declare themselves as Catholic, yet not as regular Mass-goers. On a lighter note now, if you're like many fans, the commercials are one of the best parts of the Super Bowl. So here's a warning for this next story coming out, a little bit of a spoiler alert. USA Today is reporting the cute little puppy and his majestic Clydesdale friends are back for Super Bowl 49, starring in a sequel to the Budweiser commercial that was last year's ad meter winner for the best Super Bowl Sunday commercial. The 2015 version is a lot like the touching 2014 commercial, and why not? Everyone loved that one. The puppy becomes separated from his owner and horse pal while accidentally boarding a horse trailer, and his best buddy, the Clydesdale, well, he gets involved. That's all we'll say about that. You'll have to watch to see what happens next, but I bet you can guess. Here's a hint. It's another heartwarmer that has absolutely nothing to do with the product, but is a guaranteed best-liked commercial for Super Bowl 49. And in addition to the commercials, there's a lot of reasons to celebrate Super Bowl Sunday, not the least of which are the festivities associated with the day. Around our region, you have a lot of choices. And if you're not watching the game at home, Bubba's Bar and Grill, located in Newbury Harbor in Newbury, New Hampshire, starting early with a pregame brunch, great Eggs Benedict, by the way, and then the chance to watch the game with lots of appetizers and giveaways, too. And in all of their 4 locations, the Salt Hill Pub will have the game going. They have a special Super Bowl menu at their Lebanon, Hanover, Newport, and latest location on the traffic circle in Newbury, New Hampshire. Listen to this. The specials are Pigskins, the Pile-On, Touchdown Tots, and my favorite is a big fan of Vince Wilfork, the necessary roughness burger. Regardless of where you live across the Twin State region, you have a lot of choices for the Super Bowl as the Pats face the Seattle Seahawks coming up this Sunday night at 6:30 p.m. When YCN News returns, we'll join Kearsarge Chronicles' Lynn Solomon. She had the chance to sit down with Scott Blewett. He's the new London Recreation Department Commissioner. We'll hear that conversation.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. Some snow around the region today. Let's check that current forecast now with Matt McDonald.
Thanks, Laura. Tonight we'll have a 40% chance of snow before 11 p.m. with the low around 2. Wind chills may reach as low as -13. Saturday will be mostly cloudy with a high near 13. Wind chills may drop to -15. Saturday night should be mostly clear with the low around 2. Wind chills may drop to -10. Sunday should be mostly sunny with a high near 16. And Sunday night should be mostly cloudy with the low around -5. Let's now look at this week's Snow Country Report with Hallie O'Brien.
Snow Country Snapshot is brought to you by Bubba's Bar and Grill in Newbury, New Hampshire.
Hallie O'Brien here at Gunstock Mountain in New Hampshire, and this place right here is only an hour and a half outside of Boston. That's Lake Winnipesaukee, and I've already taken like 16 pictures of it because it's just so beautiful. The only way you're going to see it though is if you get your skis and snowboards on and come up to the top. Oh, and Gunstock is not just about skiing and snowboarding. They've got a whole bunch of activities. We're going to go check them out right now.
We have some impressive snow totals from this week's storm, especially on the New Hampshire side. Ragged Mountain got a foot and is starting to open some natural snow trails. Whaleback opened a bunch of new steeps and glades with 10 inches of fresh snow, and Sunday is Military Appreciation Day at Granite Gorge.
Like I mentioned before, Gunstock gets a little creative with their extracurricular activities. We're about to tube off a jump into a big airbag. Oh my goodness. Evel Knievel would be proud!
Beautiful, look at this. This is America right here, baby.
It's Boy Scout weekend at Bromley. Scouts can work on their merit badges, and there's a race Saturday afternoon. Both Bromley and Stratton got around half a foot of snow this week. And both Okemo and Mount Snow have big parties for the big game with giveaways Sunday night.
Gunstock Mountain definitely delivers, especially if you like adventure, snow, and scenery. Head over to snowcountry.com for weather and conditions. I'll see you next week.
And now let's preview our YCN community calendar. Saturday, Brattleboro will have its Winter Farmers Market at the Robert H. Gibson River Garden from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Remember, you can see the full YCN calendar online at ycnnow.com/calendar. It's time for YCN Sports. We have some local high school basketball results from last night. In boys basketball, Kearsarge defeated Fall Mountain in a 39-36 win. A close and exciting game. In girls basketball, Fall Mountain also took on Bellows Falls and won 55-44. And finally, Sunapee dominated Epping 72-29.
Thanks so much, Matt. When YCN News returns, we'll join Capital Connections' John O'Connor and Lisa Cannell. They have some news about the budget shortfall in New Hampshire. We'll take a look at this week's news and review coming up.
The YCN News continues in a moment.